Now we will see basis of international trade. In the first thing we have seen the export, import, what are the players involved into that, BOP, and why, what is international marketing, what is going to be MNC marketing and all that gamut. Now we'll come to the topic, why this international trade happen. What are the basis for this? So this international trade happens because of the different geological deposit or natural resources. Like one country has aluminum deposit, so they will have the aluminum raw material and bauxite or something, and it will go to the aluminum manufacturers. Like India is importing over here, or India has got some surplus products, then like iron ore, then we are exporting this product. So the natural resources or geological deposits of a country becomes an exportable product. So international trade happens from the manufacturer or a geological deposit available country to another country where it is a scarce, means that is in less quantity available, right? Another is different availabilities. Like in India, we have on the Southeast Asian some countries, we have the labor and productivity and the skilled and semi-skilled and IT manpower. So we have those availability, and the other countries like Europe and USA and advanced countries like Japan, by South Korea, Taiwan, Singapore. So these countries has got less of the manpower. So they will ask to join the technical people from India and some other Southeast Asian countries. Why otherwise it happens? Difference of the scales, means the different scales of the economics of the different product. Like we have a suppose 100,000 ton plant of a chemical, and another country, suppose Saudi Arabia, it has got 1 million ton. Like when we were having here 10,000 tons of the product, they have that time working upon 1 million ton, 10 lakh ton. I am talking about 80s. In 90s they have moved to the 5 million tons, 50 lakh ton, and we have moved from 1 lakh ton to 5 lakh ton. So that kind of differences are there. So different scale of economy. Why? Because again the raw material availability is there, like gas, fuel, naphtha and other raw materials are available based on the natural gas and the crude oil into the Middle East countries, and that is why the downstream of those products will be more produced over there and at a very, very cheaper cost, which is not possible for India. So most of the projects in India coming now, those who have a crude oil, then only you can have a downstream plants of the crude oil or a petroleum product, and then you can have a petrochemical product. So that is why the international trade will happen, that they will different scale of economy. Then research and development. By doing a lot of research and development, they have developed the products in certain countries, and even in India, they have gone into creating such products which are called as a monopoly product. That they have an edge over the others. They have different kind of artificial intelligence based cars coming up, or the flying cars will come, and these kind of R&Ds have been being done by the other countries, and India has been launching the satellites for the other countries. So these are the R&D based products, and that is why the international trade will happen and the export will happen from India to other countries, or the other countries will export to India. Then due to automation is the major part these days, and due to automation, because of the accuracy, then involving the equipments to have the high-tech product, technology help is also taken. So with all different parameters, international trade will happen, right? Then similar demand characteristics, right? So similar demand characteristics with the similar economy, like Southeast Asian, most of the countries, then the climate will be also similar, and the similar demand will be there, and the similar scales of economies will be there. And in Europe and over that side, the manpower is less, so economic of scales has to be more, and that is why it will have automated things over there, and the technology will be advanced, so that they can produce with the less manpower, and with their limitation, they can produce with the high technology the products, and that can be tradable, or that can be surplus in those countries, so they can be able to export it. So that is also international trade can happen due to that. Then technical skills, expertise, manufacturing and development, and kind of working on the special efforts to extend that brand, or to extend the availability of the manpower with the expertise. Like the Indian IT sector is growing so much, and the other people are taking advantage of that, and they are taking the expertise of the India, and you will find that many multinational companies have been boomed, and they have been putting the offices all over the globe from India. The Infosys and TCS and so many companies to name it, Wipro. So this is the basis of international trade happening due to this high technical skills of the expertise. Then capital. If the country has got a lot of funds available or capital, then what will happen? They will like to invest into other countries. So they will do the funding to the other country. Also, they will invite the participation of the technology and the manpower and to invest in their own country also. But if the capital is there, they can easily do it, and they can easily diversify, or they can go across the world and put the manufacturing facilities with their capital. Then enterprise and industrial conditions, depending upon again the scarcity of the products into those own countries and the scarcity in the other country. So the enterprise management and the industrial conditions can be studied, and accordingly the international trade will happen. Like automations we have seen, or we have a more manpower. So the products where the manpower more is required, that investment can be come to India, and where there is automation things, the technology will go there, right? So enterprise and industrial conditions also will be responsible for happening the industrial. Then different climatic conditions and different needs and wants. See, this is very, very important part. We have seen in the last 2 years' time that due to pandemic, the whole, the world picture is changed. The needs and wants have come at a time everywhere. But certain times there is a typhoon in a particular country, or there is some 7.2 hectare scale, earthquake, or there are heavy rains somewhere, or there are drought somewhere. So what will happen? That country will require so much of the help and so much of the technical expertise and the funding, and to rehabilitate the whole manpower in the affected area. So the kind of help will go, or the imports will be done by that country, and the other countries will support them. So different climatic conditions, like we have say a more a summer over here, or a more a rainy season. But certain countries, Middle East, there is no rainfall at all, or once in a blue moon the rain happens. So they're totally different climatic conditions. So you cannot sell much of the woolen clothes, or you cannot air conditions, and not the heaters. And the same way in the Europe, you will find that you will have to have the gas and this thing for the heating the homes, heating the factories, heating the so many things. So different climatic conditions also will help to have the international trade. How again the international trade, or why international trade will more happen? Because of the infrastructure. Most of the countries will find those who have excellent facilities of the infrastructure of the roads and railways and communications, banking and airports, and whatever the infrastructures required for doing the business, if that is available amply and at a very affordable price, or the fuel is also cheap, and so on and so forth. So what will happen? The economy will boom, because the lead time or the cycle time in the production will also reduce, and you will find that it is very easy to make an export or bring in the import also, and the international trade will happen. And that is why most of the countries are becoming the hubs. Like Middle East, Dubai has become a hub. So many kind of different countries. About we understand that about 170 or 200 countries people are working there, and so many different countries are coming there, and it has become a hub for going to the India, also going to other Southeast Asian countries, and going to African countries, going to Europe. So it has become a hub. Similarly, Rotterdam is a port where you can connect to the Africa, and even the entire Europe, and Dubai and other Middle Eastern countries. So these kind of hubs are developed to cater the demand into the neighboring countries, and also due to their infrastructure or throughput in the sense the in and out, that time is so much reduced, so that we'll find that you will have the more and more of the international trade. Then scarcity and surplus, which we have seen almost in all other points what we have said, that there is a scarcity, so there will be imports, and where is the surplus, they will export products, production, and so on, right? Then government trade policy, this is very, very, very important. If the government trade policy is free, then what will happen? You will find that more trade is happening with those countries like Dubai, Singapore, European countries, also Switzerland or Germany. So many countries have got, even now Thailand or Indonesia, Singapore. So Why? Because they are having a free trade policy. If there is a restricted policy, you will find the trade has been not happening much, or the custom duties are very high. So these trade agreements coming between the countries, AFTA, NAFTA, and these are the associations which are there, or the SAARC countries. So what will happen within those countries? There will be the trade agreements, and these trade agreements will make the customs duties down. So it is normally a lower percentage of duties, or the free trade. So the most favorable nations, they are called as. So they are inside most favorable nation, and they can do a very good kind of a international trade. Then tariff barriers, as we seen, and the joint some groups are formed, and economic institutions like World Bank and IMF, and these institutions are also instrumental to have the international trade, because they are asking the countries to make the trade down, or the trade down in the sense the custom tariffs down, so that it is easier flow of the products from the another country to their country, and from their country to the another country. So this is the most important thing. And WTO, World Trade Organization, I will give the most important kind of a ranking to WTO. Because of that, the duties have been reduced from now $250 customs duty, from $250 per ton, or the value wise or number wise, to about 5 to 10% in India. So that is why the trade is happening, and even you can make the more manufacturing in India, because it can come in a lower duty, custom duty rate. So you can make it in the best quality product in the lower price, and so you can become an exporter. So these government trade policies are pivotal in helping the international trade. Then what are the other factors? What are the other parameters, like high quality products, specific or precision, that these products can come only from those countries because of their expertise or their raw material, or they have developed those to the very high level of quality, and then it becomes like a brand. That country and that products becomes companies become a brand, and because of this branding, and due to the very high specialized quality, you will find that a lot of international trade will happen. Another is a foreign exchange requirement, hard currency, because the currency of, say, USA. Now suppose India is Indian rupee is around 75 rupees to $1. Now if it becomes a more hard currency, like it will go to, say, 80 rupees, 90 rupees, 100 rupees immediately, then it is not absorbable to the imports. So what will happen? The goods from manufactured in USA, it will become expensive. So there will be less trade. So it is better to manage and keep the price of the their currency to matching level of the requirement, so that it becomes affordable for another country to import it, and because it is a value, India is getting from that. So it has to be properly hedged, and so that America will also have more and more of an export thing, and this hard currency can remain a little stabilized for some extent, and then when it becomes affordable to have the more dollar, because there are various parameters why dollar will appreciate or the rupee will devaluate, or so on and so forth. But as long as the hard currency people, they will make imports. What is more important is the hard currency people, like Japan, the yen has becoming so strong and strong. So what they will do, instead of putting down or allowing increase to the yen, they will import from India or various countries, and automatically the rupee and yen will get hedged, because we are importing from there. So again our rupee will strengthen or stabilize compared to the other hard currency. So the hard currency, the countries also will have that kind of what you call availability of the funds, and they will try to do the restrictions of hard currency by importing from another country. It's a very important parameter. I think normally we don't see this kind of parameter. We just see that there is a scarcity and there is a surplus and this kind of. But certain countries start importing. That doesn't mean that our quality is excellent or so. But they want to hedge and keep their hard currency in control or stabilize. Then balance of payment. So as a strategy, suppose we want to increase the our favorable situation of balance of payment. So export should be more, or the import should be coming at a lower price. So that strategy countries can make. make, and accordingly they will make it so that it is affordable to export also, and it is affordable to import also. So it will be a balancing act, and due to that international trade will happen. Then certain times government take a strategic decision to help particular sector, or to give the the more inputs to the particular community of having a different art or a different commodities, then we have expertise, or some raw materials are available amply over here, but it is been not used, and this raw material is going as it is a raw material at say $50 or $100, and it is coming converted $500 or $1,000. Like steel, we are importing the specialized steel from outside, but the raw material is going in millions of tons to other countries as a iron ore. So what happens? We are exporting at say $50 to $100, and it is coming $400, $500 back to us. So instead, government will strategically decide that give some incentives to make the production and make this downstream product which are more valuable and more priced. Even China in this case is very aggressive to give the export subsidies, or to give the the tariff down, electrical tariff down, so that the government can support this particular sector and see that there is a lot of export happening, or that particular stream will come up. So this will also help in self-sufficiency or the protection of the particular product inside, and getting the more value and the more money. Then change of national boundaries. Certain times you will find that due to certain mishap or calamities also, this national boundaries means they are unable to work, or sometimes there is conquering is happening, that somebody is taking some part of it and it becomes a disputable part, so also becomes a problem, and there is a shortage and suddenly the prices go up. So international trade also can happen because of that. So that is due to gaining or losing the land, or not able to operate on that land. Also due to that, international trade can happen. That means wherever there is a freely trade available, international trade will move more. And there is a restriction due to some reason or infrastructure wise, then the international trade will reduce. As we have already discussed, the government strategies and some financial institutions. So regional economic groupings like European Union. So about say 28-30 countries are in the same group, and the European have the only one currency of euro, and same way the NAFTA. In North American Free Trade Agreement, by which the neighboring countries of US, they are having a conglomerate, and they are able to do the business freely within themselves. So Asiana, then SAARC, and so many different groupings have been formed, and due to that, the customs duty is favorable or same or reduced for the countries within the organization or within this grouping. So that is called as the regional economic grouping. So it will enhance tremendously and give the impetus to do happen the more and more international trade within the countries of the economic group. And now there are so many reasons and so many factors responsible, like incentives, providing the incentives by the government, or sometimes stopping the incentives to curb because if it is a shortage in India itself, and if we still go on giving this direct or indirect incentives, so what will happen? We'll have a scarcity here, and we'll have to import a lot and spend more. So this kind of incentives will help it, and sometimes it has to reduce, or sometimes it has to be withdrawn also to keep that trade balance. So international trade will happen due to incentives also, or stopping the incentive or giving the incentive. Then many times this international trade will happen that we want to export. Why we want to export? Strategically, because we want to pay imports. We want to pay the customs duties, and we want to recover that BOP, balance of payment position, from unfavorable to favorable. So we need to export. So export subsidies will be given, or export incentives will be given, or advance license will be given, so that you can make a lot of exports from India to other countries, right? So this is what we have seen the entire gamut. Actually, one more thing I want to, recently I've been going through some international, the literature and the videos and all that. Now the international trade is happening due to arbitrage, because normally you have seen the arbitrage onto the Wall Street, or on certain markets of commodity. Then there is a continuous buying and selling, and and that is why the shares can go up or down. If it is no buying, it is only selling, then it will go down. So arbitrage, so continuous buying and selling. So because of this continuous buying and selling of the commodities within the different countries will give rise to the international trade. So arbitrage is a new parameter. You must have heard about it also, but this is helping the international trade. So this is our second topic, what we have gone through, and I hope you have been able to get the overview of where we are going to lead. So it is just a stepping stone that we have started with the local sale trade, local trade, export, import, international trade, why international trade happened, and then we'll see now in the next part international marketing. Our next topic will be international. See you till then. Bye bye.